This is part 2 of our discussion on the Tagalog Enclitic Particle, pa. Kumusta po kayo? Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion on the particle pa in Tagalog, which is part of a huge chapter on the Tagalog Enclitic Particles. Enclitic particles are monosyllabic and duosyllabic words that grammatically connect two words that convey different nuances and meanings. The enclitic particle pa is equivalent to the English still, yet, more, in addition, not until, etc. In the last video, I have talked about the uses of the particle pa, including to point out the continued presence of someone, to point out the state of still being in possession of something, to point out a time when something happens as opposed to being at another time. In this video, we will continue with the other uses of the particle pa, which are to point out an action or quality of someone with bad feelings, to point out having an addition to an original amount of something, to emphasize a continued action instead of another action, to emphasize a continued state of being, and in expressions of bragging. Let's begin with our first set of examples on to point out an action or quality of someone with bad feelings. What does this mean? Let's take a look at our examples. Here goes. Ako pa ang gagawa? I will be the one to do it? Ako pa ang gagawa. So I will be the one to do it. Ikaw pa ang mauuna? You will be the one to be first? Ikaw pa ang mauuna. So you will be the one to be first. Tayo pa ang aalis? We will be the ones to leave? Tayo pa ang aalis. So we will be the one to leave. Kami pa ang magluluto? We will be the ones to cook? Kami pa ang magluluto. So we will be the ones to cook. Siya pa ang tama? He or she is the one in the right? Siya pa ang tama. So he or she is the one in the right. Sila pa ang mali? They are the ones in the wrong? Sila pa ang mali. So they are the ones in the wrong. Ayos ba? Did you get a sense of how the particle pa is used in this instance? Like all Tagalog enclitic particles, this one is heavily dependent on context. So, let's move on. Let's take a look at another set of examples to point out having an addition to an original amount of something. Now, this works best with demonstrative pronouns, which I have covered in a separate chapter. Let's take a look. Ito pa. Here's one more. Iyan pa. There's one more. Iyun pa. There's one more over there. Dito pa. Check here. Don't forget this spot. Diyan pa. Check there. Don't forget that spot. Doon pa. Check over there. Don't forget that spot over there. Nandito pa. It's still here. Nandiyan pa. It's still there. Nandoon pa. It's still over there. Heto pa. Here's some more. Ayan pa. There's more there. Ayun pa. There's more over there. Ganito pa. Do it more like this. Ganiyan pa. Do it more like that. Ganoon pa. Do it more like over there. Ayos ba? Now, let's move on to the next set of sample sentences to emphasize a continued action instead of another action. In this instance, we use the particle pa with imperative verbs. Here goes. Kumain ka pa. You eat more. Dumiretso ka pa. You go straight more. Matulog ka pa. You sleep more. Maligo ka pa. You take a bath again. Sumagot ka pa. You go ahead and talk back more. Mang-insulto ka pa. You go ahead and insult me more. Tumulong ka pa. You go ahead and help more. Kumanta ka pa. You sing more. Sumayaw ka pa. You dance more. Magsalita ka pa. You talk more. Now, let's use pa with actions that happened in the past. You will see actions being done as opposed to having done something else. Here goes. Kumain pa ako. I even ate as opposed to having done something else. Umalis pa siya. He or she even left as opposed to staying. Natulog pa sila. They even slept as opposed to waking up. Nagluto pa kami. We even cooked as opposed to doing something else. Umuwi pa tayo. We even went home as opposed to staying. This time, let's try pa with continuing action in the present. Kumakain pa ako. I'm still eating and not doing anything else. Did you get the context? The same context is true with the next. Natutulog pa siya. He or she is still sleeping. Nag-uusap pa kami. We're still talking with each other. Nagsasalita pa siya. He or she is still talking. Nag-iisip ka pa. You are still thinking. Please note that with the second person ka, it has a reverse word order. Got it? Lastly, let's use pa with actions that will happen in the future. Kakain pa ako. I will still eat instead of doing something else. Aalis pa tayo. We will still go out. Mamimili pa kami. We will still go shopping. Maliligo pa siya. He or she will still take a bath. Uuwi pa sila. They will still go home. Mag-aaral ka pa. You will still have to study. Or, you will still study more. You see again that reverse word order with the second person ka. Ayos ba? Are you getting the hang of it? I hope so. And if you're liking this video so far, please do hit the like button because that's gonna help this channel grow. Alright? Now, let's move on. Let's focus on to emphasize a continuing state of being. Now, this works best with degrees of comparison, a subject I already covered in another chapter. Here goes. Mas maganda pa si Tess kaysa kay Marie. Tess is even more prettier compared to Marie. Higit pa matangkad si Anton kaysa kay Peter. Anton is even taller than Peter. Pinakamalaki pa siya ngayon. He's still taller now. Sobra pa sa ginawa mo. Even more than what you did. Ayos? Now, let me add another phrase with a degree of comparison. Sobra pa sa sobra. It's more than too much. You can use it in a sentence like this. Sobra pa sa sobra ang ibinigay mo. What you gave is more than too much. Cool? Lastly, we can use pa in expressions of bragging. This works best with raising the tone of your voice, like, Ako pa. Me, you know me. Ikaw pa. You, I know you. Sila pa. Them, we know all about them. Again, these phrases are dependent on context. So there you have it. We have just extensively covered in this video and in the last video how and when to use the enclitic particle pa. I hope this series is helping you in your journey in learning Tagalog. We will continue to talk more about particles like lang, naman, muna, pala, and the others in this huge chapter on the Tagalog enclitic particles. I hope you will catch our next video and I will see you then. Maraming salamat po at hanggang sa susunod.